Yesterday, I was re-watching a YouTube video that was recorded about a year ago. The content creator was showing different residential areas where idols live, and on this occasion, he was walking through Itaewon. His goal was to reach Jungkook's new house, and as he walked, he explained that he was about 10 minutes away. At that moment, while watching the video more closely, something caught my attention. The place where this guy was walking was exactly the same location where Taehyung filmed his video of the first snowfall. The path, the trees, the way the snow fell in that clip, everything matched the environment in the YouTuber's recording. The fact that Taehyung was there at that moment suggests that he was very close to Jungkook's house. We can't be sure if they were together at that moment, but the proximity between the two places makes the detail striking. For many fans, these moments don't go unnoticed, because Taekook tends to leave clues that, although small, fit together perfectly. Interestingly, Taehyung chose to record and upload that video from that specific spot, giving the impression that the place held some value for him. It may have been a simple stroll or a moment he wanted to share because of the beauty of the first snowfall, but the surrounding context gives the situation a special meaning for those who follow their relationship. Over time, Taekook fans have learned that they don't need to see them together directly to notice that they remain connected. Sometimes small details are enough, and when observed closely, they show that their bond remains strong. These kinds of coincidences have been repeated several times, moments that seem simple, but end up revealing more than they appear when compared to previous signs. Although some people criticize or question every gesture or movement between them, what stands out is the consistency with which these clues appear. They aren't grand declarations or flashy actions, rather, they are discrete fragments of their daily lives that end up speaking for themselves. That's why, when you observe this detail of the first snowfall and relate it to the proximity of Jungkook's house, you understand why so many fans feel there's an ongoing story between them. There's no need to exaggerate or create complicated theories. It's enough to look at how these patterns repeat themselves, how they both move in the same spaces, and how, without needing to mention it, they reveal that they maintain a close relationship. Taehyung shared that video without explanation, but the naturalness with which he did it and the place he chose make it clear that it was a significant moment for him. And if that place is directly linked to Jungkook, then it's something truly beautiful because it shows us once again the connection they share. There are moments in life that leave an indelible mark. Not only because of what happened, but because of the effort it took to keep going when giving up would have been the easiest thing to do. Over the years, this has been a constant companion for Taekook, their challenges, their silences, and the way they always find a way to support each other no matter what's going on around them. It's often been said that we'll never truly know what our Taekook have faced, or what they continue to experience today. Details that don't appear on camera, gestures hidden behind their smiles, and the price they pay for giving their all to the public while trying to preserve their bond. Between performances, commitments, and important decisions, they've both had to learn to protect each other, to take care of each other, and to value the affection they've built together over so many years. One of the hardest moments for them occurred at the 2018 Mama Awards, when Jin revealed that BTS had considered disbanding. It was an unexpected moment for millions of people, but above all, it was a direct blow to the members. Jungkook cried upon hearing those words, but seeing Taehyung cry, something he rarely shows in public, shifted within him. For a few seconds, he set aside his own pain and walked over to Taehyung, embracing him in front of everyone without hesitation. For many of us, that hug remains etched in our memories as one of the clearest examples of how they support each other through difficult times. Later, Taehyung recounted that year had been one of the hardest for both him and Jungkook. He said they talked a lot, cried together, and didn't really have anyone to turn to for advice about what they were going through. Despite everything, they decided to continue and renew their contracts with the group. Amidst their doubts, it was significant that Suga's letters to Taehyung gave them a boost. Those words helped them stay calm, reflect, and find the strength to move forward. Now, it seems history is repeating itself under different circumstances. Many saw Namjoon's words at his recent concert, and it's understandable that this sparked questions, ideas, and feelings among fans. It's clear that the image of a perfectly united and stable family no longer holds true as it once did. All of this has made the feeling that Taekook is quite isolated within this environment increasingly clear to many. This isn't about excluding anyone or creating conflict, but rather recognizing that they have repeatedly demonstrated that when things get tough, they turn to each other before anyone else. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and it's valid to agree or disagree. But what was seen at Namjoon's concert led many fans to reinforce the idea of firmly supporting Taekook because, beyond external comments, they have always shown that they support each other. Today more than ever, many trust what Taekook expresses through actions, gestures, and decisions. They don't need grand speeches to make it clear what they mean to one another. And as they move forward, facing new stages and preparing for what's to come, there are people who will remain by their side, the fans who support them, Wooga, the class of '97, and all those who feel their union holds special value. That's why the commitment of their supporters remains to stay, listening to them, respecting their space, celebrating their growth, and remembering how important it has been to see them take care of each other during the most difficult times. Taekook has faced complex situations before, and yet they have persevered with a steadfastness that speaks for itself. Being there for them, supporting them, and protecting their story is something many will continue to do, because the connection they have built remains strong even when their surroundings seem to crumble. These days, Taekook appears less frequently in public or in situations where they were once seen together more often. Over time, they've gone through different phases, some where their closeness was more evident and others where they preferred to keep a lower profile. However, in none of these phases has their bond weakened. On the contrary, many of the gestures they've shown in the past reveal a trust that doesn't need to be repeated daily to prove it still exists. It's a type of bond that remains even when the environment changes or when their personal routines lead them to pursue different activities. For fans who have followed Taekook since their early years, this kind of relationship doesn't require constant proof. That's why the role of their supporters has been to remain present with respect, listening to what each member expresses on their own path, giving them space, celebrating their individual progress, and recognizing the value of seeing how they've supported each other through difficult times. Throughout their shared history, they have faced complex situations, external pressures, and moments where the public spotlight has been too intense. Even so, they have both managed to move forward with a stability that speaks louder than any direct words. Understanding this dynamic is part of what has strengthened their community. Being there for them doesn't mean demanding demonstrations, but rather accompanying their growth, protecting what they have built, and understanding that not everything important needs to be openly displayed. In many cases, the most genuine closeness is precisely the one that remains silent, the one that doesn't need constant presence to remain real. And over time, Taekook has proven to be just that, two people who support each other without making a fuss. When one goes through a difficult period, the other is usually close, not to highlight it or make it a public moment, but to offer support without needing to explain. This way of caring for each other doesn't seek approval, attention, or interpretation. It simply exists as a natural part of their relationship. What they have shown is a type of companionship that functions as a silent refuge, stable, discreet, and constant. It doesn't need to be mentioned every day for it to still be there. Their story is marked by small but significant gestures that arose from habit and a closeness that doesn't depend on the setting. This way of being there for each other is what many fans value, not out of idealization, but because it reflects a relationship that has withstood the test of time and the pressures of the environment without needing to be overly public. In short, although their visible moments are less frequent today, what they have built hasn't lost its strength. The connection between Taehyung and Jungkook doesn't need constant proof to remain strong, and those who have followed their journey know that what matters most has never depended on public appearances or displays.